Welcome everyone. In today's video, we'll be covering external peers, looking into what they are, why you might need them, and how you can configure them on the Xooa platform. You can make full use of blockchain technology by extending the reach of the blockchain network outside of Xooa through the use of external peers. When extending a network, you can choose from two different types of peers, observing and endorsing. An observing peer provides a ready-to-deploy Docker Compose file alongside crypto materials that automatically deploy a local container for a blockchain peer. A local blockchain ledger explorer, which is available to you via browser, makes it easy to validate transactions that were synced and stored locally. External observing peers can run on any environment that runs Docker. You can then transition your observing peer into an endorsing peer if you want to by providing the static URL where the peer can be accessed. Endorsing peers allow you to endorse transactions using an external peer, which may be created either on premises or through a cloud provider, and enables you to set up endorsing policies through an app. Please note that running endorsing peers is not mandatory for using blockchain. Moreover, an external peer that acts as an observing peer does not need to be perpetually connected or have a static IP address, which makes small-scale development and experimentation on Xooa easy. With all that said, let's move to the Xooa platform to walk through how to configure an external peer. Here, we have the Xooa console. To configure an external peer, go to the Networks tab at the top. You will find that there are various networks that Xooa provides all users with. And if you've previously configured an external network on your account, these will be located below. To create an external peer, you need to extend a network. So I'm going to choose to extend the Xooa Ledger network. I'll provide an organization name for this peer and a peer name, then click on Save. This will create a new peer for you and bring you to a page that provides instructions on how to run this peer. To deploy the peer, you can choose to deploy it on premises or on any of these cloud providers. For the sake of this example, let's set up a peer on-prem. To begin with, you will need to download the peer setup file, so we'll click on download. Next, this provides you with some of the commands that you will need to run in your terminal, so let's move to our terminal. First off, we'll need to navigate to the directory where this peer was extracted to. We'll then need to run the command docker compose up-d, which will enable the peer to run on your local network. Let's now return back to our browser and open our local host port 8080. As you can see, the entire Xooa ledger is now available here with all of the blocks, transactions, and chain codes that I've deployed to it. You can check all of the block details, all of the transaction details, and more from here. Moving back to the Xooa console, let's check if the 710 block height that is listed on the external peer is the same as that listed on the ledger on Xooa. So returning to the Xooa ledger, we'll select the ledger tab. We can see here that this ledger has been synchronized with our external peer's ledger. Each of the new transactions that are recorded to this ledger will be reflected on the external peer's ledger, whether it's hosted on-prem or on a cloud provider. Let's now look into how we can transition this observing peer into an endorsing peer. For an endorsing peer, you'll need a static IP address so that the Xooa console can communicate with the external peer. We'll return to our Xooa ledger and click on the Nodes tab. Scrolling down, we can see our organization and associated observing peer. To make it an endorsing peer, click here and select Make Endorsing. You'll need to provide the request and event URLs in this process, and after providing these gRPC URLs, you can then test and save this peer. This will test if the connection is established successfully between the external peer and the Xooa platform. We can see that the test was successful. So now that you've created and tested a new external peer for an organization, this organization can participate in an endorsement policy. So let's dive into how these policies can be defined for each app. I already have an app deployed in my account. Let's proceed to the Manage tab in this app. Under the endorsement policy, click on Add New to create a new policy. I'll input a policy name. Here, you can add another organization that will endorse the transactions. You can change the expression between and or. And for now, let's add another principal with the deployed expression. The organization that you just created by creating an endorsing peer will show up here. Moreover, you can view the whole endorsement policy that will take effect, as well as copy the policy if need be. Once completed, you can either select Save as Draft or Save and Apply for this app. Upon saving and applying, the app will be upgraded with the endorsement policy. The app is now being upgraded. You'll be notified when this process is complete and the new endorsement policy has taken effect. And with that completed, I've now shown you how external peers function on the Xooa platform. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day.